My name is Waffles and I'm a government whistleblower turned political commentator. I just wanted to stop and take a moment to talk about the fact that I'm seeing a handful of people taking jabs at each other right now. I'm seeing comrades like referring to each other as the alarmist left. I'm looking at one right now that says the way many liberals are dismissing the pro-Palestine stop genocide contingent of voters is an astroturf operation. I don't even care, dude. I don't even care, man. I'm out here scolding people, and this is what I want people to think about right now. If this is what you're doing, if you are one of the individuals that has decided to take jabs at other people who are trying to help deal with the very serious and very scary situation that we are all dealing with in the United States right now, I want you to stop and take a moment and think about what you're doing. I have actually written a scripted response to respond to this at this point in time because of the fact that for some reason, I don't know why, I'm seeing a lot of that today. So here's what I have to say on that. I don't like seeing people taking jabs at each other. I think it's divisive. I've said the same to plenty of others. This is hurting, not helping, and it only discourages from getting stuff done to remedy the problems we are facing. We are in an all hands on deck situation, and if you don't like what others are doing, maybe you should stop and take a moment to look at what you yourself are doing. Calling each other names does not help with shit. Cutting each other down doesn't help with shit. And if you ask me, it only stands in the way. What I see that you are spending your time doing is preventing action rather than getting work done. Less talking, more working. The situation isn't meant to pat your ego. This is not about likes, shares, follows, monetization. This is about the fact that our national security is in danger. This is about the fact that we have a governmental body that appears to be deliberately trying to harm the American people by doing things like defunding NOAA, making it so that we can't see incoming hurricanes, firing people on our national security board, making it so that our nation is not protected, trying to pass a bill that could very likely unalive millions of Americans by depriving them of their health care. We are dealing with what appears to be a systematic attack against the American people through our legislative bodies that could potentially be coming from a foreign adversary. My name's Waffles. I'm a government whistleblower turned political commentator. I am using my First Amendment right to freedom of speech, and I am expressing my opinions in regards to political affairs taking place in the United States. These are my constitutional rights. I have every right to express my thoughts and opinions regarding the actions of my governmental body. I am engaging in independent journalism, and it is my right as a United States citizen to exercise my First Amendment freedom of speech. The United States Constitution is what makes our nation a nation and is what makes our nation sovereign. And so then I will exercise this right until I die, because I am an American citizen and nothing is going to change that. With that being said, I don't think that anybody who's engaging in this kind of behavior right now understands that we are literally busting our asses and losing our fucking minds. And I'm assuming you're probably making these kinds of statements because you're also losing your mind. But we need to be aware of how much weight we're putting on others. Because for me personally, I am incredibly overwhelmed. And when I see people that are not doing work to try and find solutions, and people trying to tell me that there's no point in trying and no point in doing anything, what I see is people who are putting that weight then on my shoulders. And it leaves me scrambling. And I'm going to say with that, if you're expecting that much of others, one person can only do so many things. And what we actually need to do is pool together right now and be working collectively. And you need to understand that this person's working on this. They're not working on that. Don't expect them to work on that when they're working on this. And they only have, so many hours in the day that it is healthy to have their eyes open where their brain's actually going to be functioning. That's how bad the situation is right now. So we need to have respect for what we're actually dealing with, because we've got things like, tornado victims that didn't get their FEMA funding, that have their houses ripped apart, and their whole families are in shelters right now. And our job right now is to be working on this and standing together as a nation and protecting the families and the people that live here, because I don't give a damn what side of the aisle you're on, where you stand in politics or whatever the hell. We're a country, and if things like deliberately harming our civilian populace are considered acceptable, and this is what you want for people like those tornado victims, etc., there is something wrong with you if you cannot realize what is actually taking place. Do not come into this situation with some sort of attitude of entitlement, because you are undeserving of it when you believe that other people need to be suffering in such a way and have things like their homes stripped away from them. Do not think that you deserve to have things like food, shelter, water, etc. if you believe that other people deserve to have those things taken from them. Period. I don't give a damn who the hell you are. So for anybody who is out here right now being divisive, not understanding the severity of the problem, I want you to take the same amount of effort that you are putting into throwing a fit and being divisive, and start putting that into using your brain network to get on the computer or open a book and start looking for answers to problems that we have right now, because you are capable of that. All you have to do is ask yourself, like, what can be done about this? And when you start looking at what can be done about this, instead of those guys, and not looking at yourself, then you can be more useful and start actually helping instead of hurting. Because if what you're going to do is come out here and be divisive, the situation's only going to get worse. So I have that to say. Anybody else, if you're not doing that kind of stuff and you see this kind of behavior, call it out, cut these people off, tell them to start doing work and to shut the hell up. Thank you.